Good evening. It's Thursday, February 13th, 2025. A metal worker shaping some sort of a metal tool made of molten steel. And right after they got finished shaping the tool out of the molten steel, they plunged it into cool water. I don't know exactly what that's about, but that's what I'm seeing. Right after making this tool or item out of molten steel, it was plunged into cold water, which immediately cooled it down and solidified it. I'm feeling this idea of strengthening, tempering, an idea of strengthening something so that it doesn't crack under pressure or fluctuations in heat or cold. To strengthen someone or strengthen yourself against fluctuations in energy or to shield yourself or buffer yourself against external instability. I'm also feeling the idea of that resistance is not what you want to do right now. Resistance would be unproductive. We are moving out of an energy of resisting, and it's more about unifying, harmonizing. I'm being reminded that with the rising energetic frequency of the planet that is being catalyzed by the solar activity that the Earth is experiencing right now, this rising energy is forcing everything in the shadows, all the separation, and this fixation on differences and duality, divides, socioeconomic divides, all the many different ways that we are divided on this planet. This rising energetic frequency is causing all of this to come up to the surface for healing in order for us to move forward constructively and productively, so that everyone feels a sense of satisfaction. The only way that can happen is after this separation and illusion, this illusion of separation. It must be resolved, it must be healed before the entire collective of humanity can move into this higher frequency. So again, my very first impression has to do with the time of resistance. There's a time to resist, but right now resistance is not the focus. Resistance should not be the focus right now. Right now, the focus or objective should be on unification, not drawing attention to all of our differences. Actively seeking, we want to remind each other we all want to survive, we all want to thrive, we all want to be happy doing whatever it was that made us happy when we were children without the judgment. Fully respecting each other for being in your authenticity the way that you were brought into this planet to be. Right now, more than anything, more than resistance, it is of the utmost importance for us to focus on remembering who we were before we were convinced that it was not okay to be that person you showed yourself to be in childhood. The message that I'm getting here is to surrender to the transformation. Surrender to the transformation. I'm making it easy for you right now. I'm making it easy for you to surrender to the transformation. So today is Thursday, February 13th, 2025. I'm just going to break it down the first way I see it intuitively. I see it 2, 13, 20, and 25. 2 plus 13 is 15. And then 2025 sums to 9. We could also break 2025 into 2 double-digit numbers, so it would be 45, which would also be 9. If I were to sum February 13th, 2025 as 3 single digits, 2, 4, and 9, then the sum would be 15. If you look at the number 15 from left to right, it literally can be interpreted as, okay, let's get started solving this situation. Let's start enacting the solution to the problem. Let's go ahead and start working out this problem. Now that we've taken an opportunity to understand what the problem is and the scope of the problem and how many are involved, exactly what it is, and also understanding the availability of resources to be able to tackle this problem. So let's go ahead and get started working out this problem. Let's start working out this situation. Let's see what we can do to work out this situation. Another way that I could break this down is 2 plus 13 plus 20 plus 25. 20 plus 25 is 45. 45 plus 13 is 58. And then 58 plus 2 for February is 60. So when we look at 60, first of all, 6 is about satisfaction, reciprocity, getting what you need. If there were a couple parties involved in a situation or an arrangement, relationship, that there's reciprocity, both people, both groups in that relationship or organization are getting what they need. It's worked out fairly, equitably, and there's also an energy of getting along. Cohesiveness is what I'm feeling there, and cooperation. I'm feeling an energy of something that's well put together, thoughtfully created, constructed. And I'm hearing the word cooperative or co-op. So if number 60 was describing a person, this person exhibits, exudes, or even stands for, represents, or possesses this ability to solve things equitably. More than solve, resolve. I'm thinking of like resolve something for good, like a more permanent resolution, a resolution that is so well worked out that it's not something that would just be undone. It's something that's worked out so well that everyone involved, it's like a unanimous decision. Everyone agrees on it. even people that are not involved in the situation but happen to see it. Like, if there was something broadcast or televised, or I'm seeing like a game, a spectator sport. Like if there was, like watching a football game, the Super Bowl, a referee called something, a really controversial play, and the referee had really great judgment and called the play in such a way that most everyone who saw the play and understood why the referee called it that way agreed with the referee. I'm seeing that this person with the closer energy is able to see the facts very clearly, is able to ascertain this person has a very strong intuition, and this person also has a very strong sense of ethics and fairness, and this person also has very strong empathy for humanity. It is what I'm seeing here. The empathy is very important. This person respects boundaries. That's coming up really strong, as a sense of boundaries here. Now, I'm being guided to actually look at the space between each one of these numbers. In other words, so February 13th, 2025, if you were to break it down into these four numbers, 2, 13, 20, and 25, the distance between 2 and 13 is 11. And then the distance between 13 and 20 is 7. And then the distance between 20 and 25 is 5. I'm being guided to interpret what is the meaning of those intervals between the numbers. Another thing that I'm seeing is, so 2, 13, 11 deals with conceptualization. In order to conceive something, you have to have an understanding. I'm feeling an idea of this particular understanding is something that it's like you were born with a particular understanding of certain concepts, something instinctual even. I'm feeling the idea of instinctual, instinct, a gut instinct, being born with a gift of certain types of insight, possibly even like ancient knowledge. The reason why this is so important is this 11 that I'm seeing between the 2 and the 13. To be elevated to an 11 energy, 9 has to happen. And we've talked about this before. 9 is the energy of appreciation, like understanding how to apply this globally, understanding how to apply this for a wide range of circumstances in keeping with principle. There's also an aspect of mercy that I'm seeing here. To apply concepts with mercy, understanding and empathy, honoring the humanity of each individual, as well as the humanity of the entire collective. The word honor. So this 11 between 2 and 13, 2 plus 11 is 13. Somewhere between this 2 energy, this feeling and intuitive, this emotional and intuitive energy, on the way to 13, which would be the transformation, the metamorphosis, that signifies growth. So what was needed for this growth to happen was some sort of enlightenment, like someone's eyes were opened. Time needed to pass, and there were external things that happened, like the rising energetic frequency of the planet. It was like the carpet that had been pulled from underneath everyone, and then as this influx of light kept increasing on the planet, the rug had already been pulled, and many people were knocked off their feet, except for the ones who were already relying on the strength of their wings instead of relying on the branch. These are people who invested the time in strengthening their perceptive powers and their faith. Their faith in knowing that they are safe to live authentically the way that they were brought into this planet. It is safe for you to remember who you were before you came, and understanding that you have everything you need. You always had everything that you needed in order to successfully complete your mission on this planet. You were born with everything you needed to make you a success on this planet. All that was needed was for you to remember who you were, and that took an undoing of the very, very heavy programming. This programming started very early. Over the past 9 months, many of us in the collective have experienced a very profound enlightenment awakening. It has been gradual but rapid and profound. It has forced many of us to learn how to deal with. It has forced many of us to confront those limiting beliefs and replace believing with knowing. It's an inner knowing, realizing that you've done this before. So when I see 213, the 2 is telling me how we're going to do it. So when you see 213, the 2 tells you how you're going to do it, and the 13 tells you what you're going to do. 213 describes you and your character in this situation, and 13 describes what you will be doing as that character. When I see 2, the feeling that I'm getting is 2 deals with the duality of having your feelings and your emotions, but also the ability to feel or interpret intuition, your gut feeling. The 2 energy has a built-in challenge that requires the reconciliation of feelings and intuition, so that they can support each other, they can back each other. 2 also says, okay, we're not projecting, we're actually reflecting. We're not speaking, we're listening. We're not doing, we're waiting, we're observing. What I'm hearing is, this is a time to surrender. This is a time to absorb, listen, really understand intuitively. Allow yourself to look at what's going on from a higher viewpoint, with a higher appreciation, with a gratitude for the lesson, that this information, this lesson is going to elevate you into a higher way of being, where your manifestations are greater. Your manifestations yield prosperity and happiness and joy and health and peace and order. I'm hearing surrender to the transformation. Take the role of the observer. So when I see 213 and I hear surrender to the transformation, take the role of the observer. It's not about being confrontational. It's not about being resisting. It's more about being. This energy of understanding who you are and being secure in your identity and being in your authenticity and a sense of gratitude that you're here and that you're grateful for everything and everyone, every experience, even every circumstance. Feeling this appreciation and gratitude for everything in your energetic domain. That's what changes everything around you. That's what elevates you from a 2 energy to an 11 energy. That energy where you can make a wish. You can make a wish in that frequency and instantly jump from one timeline to another. Timeline jumping is real. So what I'm seeing here is the distance between 2 and 13 is 11, and then the distance between 13 and 20 is 7. So 13 deals with the transformation. Before that transformation could occur, enlightenment had to happen first. And once that enlightenment happens, there was no more resistance. You realize that resistance would only be counterproductive at this point. You learn the value of harmonizing into the circumstances. Don't jump right into changing circumstances. Surrender into harmony first. That allows for the transformation, that powerful transformation. It's this ability to do so much by doing nothing. It's making a conscious choice to allow the manifestation, to allow the timelines to merge. After you've already done the work, there comes a time to allow those timelines to merge. You're following through by holding a sense of gratitude and faith. Holding that frequency allows the reality that you saw in your vision to collapse into your current timeline. When I see the 20 that comes after this 13, I get a feeling of recommitting yourself to the plan, the assignment. You are fully vested in the way that you have chosen. This is an energy of being fully invested in your path because you know that you are in line with your purpose. You have chosen to surrender to the transformation where you are now fully in line with your purpose. You are in your authenticity. You are recommitting yourself to the process, recommitting yourself to the plan. And now I'm seeing, like, after act 1 of a play, there's a change of scenery. I'm seeing the lights go down and you can see the set changing. There's a set change that's happening. Or if you were in a manufacturing plant, and so they've manufactured all the cornflakes that they're going to manufacture for the day, and now it's time to move to the Lucky Charms. And you can't manufacture Lucky Charms if you haven't cleaned out the machine from manufacturing the cornflakes. So say you were manufacturing Lucky Charms in the cereal plant, and you've already manufactured all the boxes of Lucky Charms that your scheduled plan to manufacture for the week. But it's time to do the Cinnamon Toast Crunch now. You can't just jump from manufacturing the Lucky Charms to manufacturing the Cinnamon Toast Crunch without recalibrating the machine, setting up the machine, cleaning it, any Lucky Charms dust or stray marshmallows. You don't want any Lucky Charms dust or stray marshmallows. You don't want any of that accidentally getting in your Cinnamon Toast Crunch, do you? So you have to take the opportunity to change the machine, recalibrate the machine. The box sizes are different. The boxes are different. If it's labeled Lucky Charms, then you don't want Cinnamon Toast Crunch in it. And if it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you don't want Lucky Charms in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's about authenticity right there. It's about, if you're going to change things over completely committing yourself to what you are supposed to be right now, committing yourself to who you are, recommitting yourself to your growth, committing yourself to your purpose. So something about a new batch. It's time for a new batch. It's time for the next round, a new setup altogether. There's energy of a new setup on the way. What I'm hearing is the current circumstances are about to just dissolve. The current circumstances are dissolving, and you are going to be, it's like a reverse dissolving into a new set of circumstances. And the way that will happen is for you to allow yourself to surrender to the metamorphosis. You've done what you were supposed to do. And now, this fighting, the time for fighting and resisting, you don't have to fight and resist anymore. I'm feeling that you're used to fighting for everything. And it's been traumatic for you. And it's so hard for you to believe that you don't have to keep fighting anymore. But you did it. You did it. And now all you have to do, and it's easier said than done, but you can do it because you fought so hard. Anyone who can fight as hard as you did can surrender to the circumstances that you fought for. If you can fight as hard as you did to manifest what you just manifested, you surely can surrender to the rest of this transformation. You're surrendering to the manifestation of your desires. This is the ultimate follow through. This surrendering to the remainder of this transformation that you have. What I'm seeing is that as soon as this setup is complete, this new batch, as soon as you see everything around you, your whole setup change, you're going to have a moment to sit and appreciate it and give thanks for it. Thank God for it. Remember to thank God for what you got. Remember to thank God for getting you through, for pulling you through, guiding you through, arranging everything for you. Thank God for strengthening you when you asked for the strength to endure everything. Thank God for providing you with the energy that you channeled through your vessel. Thank God for giving you the opportunity to be used as a vessel. So as soon as this transformation is over, as soon as this transformation is complete, and you are in a new setup, a new set of external circumstances, things are going to be clicking along. I'm seeing like 132 beats per minute. It's about like that. And so it's a very steady pace. It's a lively pace. It's not a breakneck speed, but it's steady. It is relentless. So making sure that you are calibrated, you're in your authenticity, you are doing things with the right motives, and now things can really click along. I'm hearing the word, it's a catchy rhythm, a catchy rhythm. There's going to be people that are going to help, that are going to be drawn to the order, the pace. There's a certain ease. There's a joy, a security that people are longing for, especially right now. It's rare. And in this frequency, and even I'm thinking like a frequency of a beat, like this tempo is catchy. It's going to give people the opportunity to, I'm hearing dance. They're going to have an opportunity to get up and dance, and just involved in this, other people are going to join. So, something about people are going to feel more motivated. When I look at 2025, 25 can also be broken down like this. The number 25, the 2 and the 5 split by 0.2. When I see 0 in front of a single digit, it tells me that you are embodying the general overall energy of that single digit. I'm going to assume that it's the well-dignified version of that number, which means that you are in unity. This is not about the contradiction or a disagreement between intuition and emotions. This is where emotions and intuition are in line, and you are embodying that. I'm being shown King Solomon, wise King Solomon. Don't let your empathy be a weakness. Learn to temper your empathy with reason. Learn to temper your empathy with self-respect. And it is holy to have boundaries. It is holy to exercise your boundaries. Once again, we're not talking about being in an energy of resistance, but it's a type of neatness. It encourages order. So 25 split by 0.2, it tells me about mindful movement. That 25 energy moves really rapidly. So if you haven't taken the time to really plan out your objectives, or if you haven't taken an opportunity to really be confident in who you are, knowing who you are and why you're here, what is your role in the entirety of this global situation? What is your role in this universe? And understanding that will allow you to be able to move through at a steady pace, a rapid pace, mindfully, without making mistake after mistake. This is an energy that is necessary for the year, because this entire year is going to be moving very rapidly. And the remainder of this month of February is the prime opportunity to calibrate, to recalibrate, to center yourself. It's so important for you to be in your authenticity. There are things that have been designed that are being released right now in the world to distract you, to tempt you to compromise your principles, who you are. Inception is real. Be careful that you are not adopting other people's identities as your own. Ask yourself, do you like this because you like it, or because someone told you to like it? Do you feel a certain way because you feel this way? Or is it because you know it? How do you know it? I'm hearing something about the opposite of mindful movement is an unscheduled, rapid. I'm hearing this, it sounds really interesting. The opposite energy of this mindful movement that we're talking about, this 25 split by this 0-2 energy, the opposite energy of this mindful movement idea would be an unscheduled, rapid disassembly. We heard that a lot with the SpaceX incident that happened. The opposite of mindful movement energy is an energy of unscheduled, rapid disassemblies. It's so important for you to act mindfully from now until the rest of the year, because this year is going to be moving so fast. There's going to be a certain inertia behind every decision, an inertia behind every action. And be mindful and make sure you know what you're choosing, make sure you know what you're voting for. Think about what you're saying before you say it. Think about it. Think about it. Knee-jerk reactions. Be careful about knee-jerk reactions. Take 10 seconds. Don't answer right away. Take 10, 15 seconds first. Think twice. Think twice. But you don't have forever. And understand that you are going to need to take risks. I'm hearing make up your mind and take a risk. After you experience this rededication to your purpose, to your assignment, and this rededication to your purpose and your assignment, it's going to come after you realize there's something about who you are, something that you enjoy, something that makes you feel whole, something that you were born for. And you knew that you were born for this when you were a child. There was something, whether you were in the backyard playing in the sandbox all by yourself, or whether you loved foraging plants and eating them, or whether you love to draw maps, or whether you love to sew or cook or speak or feeding hungry people. learning things and sharing your knowledge, repairing things. Anything that you gravitated towards, all of a sudden, before you recommit yourself to the assignment, this assignment that you forgot about it. Maybe you didn't know about it, you forgot about it, it was programmed out of you, and you are being forced to remember it now because all these things that you were made to believe were so important that you ended up forfeiting everything about who you were, everything that you believed in, and you started feeling this anxiety and depression because forfeiting who you were, it went against every fiber of your being. And now, because God commanded the sun to just rev it up, give the earth more light, give the earth more light, and this is causing the energetic frequency of our planet to rise, forcing us to remember who we were when we came here. And now you just can't do anything. You won't do. Once you see it, it cannot be unseen. Once you feel it, once you feel that feeling that you felt when you were a child, you've been longing to feel that way again, and now you do. And there's no turning back. And once you recommit yourself to your purpose, there are two ways that it could go right now. Moving forward, things are going to happen fast. You are going to witness things come together rapidly, and you are going to witness things fall apart rapidly. And it's all going to be based on the decisions that you make. Now, even if you don't make a choice, that is still making a choice, but it's passive. Passively made choices rarely turn out great. So the message that I'm hearing is to make up your mind and take a risk. As soon as you recommit yourself to your assignment, you are going to notice as soon as you recommit yourself to your assignment, you're going to notice that things come together fast. As soon as you recommit yourself to your assignment, you're going to notice that things come together fast. You're going to complete this manifestation by moving right into it. Moving right into this manifestation is what's going to provide the rest of what's needed. I'm also seeing 321 a lot. There's three interpretations for that. 3 days from now, there's a really important energy here. There's like a wrapping up something within the next 3 days. There's something that you need to wrap up within the next 3 days. And just keep in mind that you need to be surrendering to this transformation. Allow it to happen. It's for the highest good. It's for your highest good, and it's for the highest good of the entire collective. The next 3 weeks are going to be extremely important, instrumental. March 21st could be extremely important for someone too. March 21st. It's going to be an extremely dynamic springtime for us.